Hello dear students, this is Renu. I am starting to this video. In this video we will do class 9 science chapter number 4 structure of atom. That's the chemistry chapter. Okay. So beta ji, here when we will start this chapter, we will discuss about basically the chapter begin with the subatomic particles, and these particles are electrons, protons and neutrons. Okay. So first, just in a precise way, we will just remember the things. Electrons. Okay, but electron is a subatomic particle, that means particle present inside the atom, and it was discovered by J.J. Thomson. Discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1900. Okay. Next is proton. It is also another subatomic particle. Proton was discovered by E. Goldstein in 1886. And one more thing. What was that? It was neutron. Neutron was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932. Okay. So electron, the mass of electron and charge of electron. Mass of electron is 9.1 × 10⁻31 kg. Charge of electron is -1.6 × 10⁻19 coulomb. Mass of proton is 2000 times more than mass of electron. It is 1.67 × 10⁻27 kg. And the charge of proton is positive of this much, that means positive charge of electron. Okay, and the mass of neutron is nearly similar to mass of proton, and the charge of neutron is 0. Okay, because it is neutral, it doesn't have any charge. Okay, so these are basic few information about the chapter about the subatomic particles. Now we will discuss about the various atomic models proposed by various scientists. The first scientist model, that is Thomson atomic model. Okay, so beta G, Thomson atomic model inform us that Thomson's atomic model. As per Thomson atomic model, beta, atom is a positively charged sphere. Okay, atom is a positively, no, what's that? So as per Thomson, atom is a positively charged sphere in which electrons are embedded in it. Okay, so the first point, he proposed that atom is a positively charged sphere in which electrons are embedded. जिसके अंदर electrons अंदर हैं, electrons are embedded. Fine. Second point, the positive charge. Okay, the positive charge and the negative charge. The positive charge and the negative charge are equal in magnitude. As they are equal in magnitude, that's why. So atom as a whole is electrically neutral. So beta, there were 2 points of Thomson atomic model. The first thing, atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Why? Because positive and negative charges are equal in magnitude. The second thing, we will say that atom is a positive charged sphere and in which electrons are embedded. Okay, we can compare the atom with the watermelon also, in which the radical part, the entire radical part of the watermelon is basically positive charged sphere. That means atom and the black seeds embedded in the watermelon are just equivalent, or we can compare these black seeds embedded in the watermelon to electrons. Okay, so and we can also compare the atom with the Christmas pudding also. Okay, in the similar manner. So these were the points, or these were the Thomson atomic model proposed. These points were proposed by Thomson. Okay, for atomic model. Okay, so Thomson atomic model says that atom is a positively charged sphere in which electrons are embedded. Second thing, electrons and protons, basically, that means positive charge and negative charge are equal in magnitude. That's why atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Fine. Now beta, Thomson's student was Rutherford basically, and Rutherford discussed actually perform experiment just to verify the statements made by his sir. Okay, so we will now do Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment. Okay, so beta, Rutherford choose gold. Why gold? Why gold foil is there? Because he wants to make a thin layer, as thin as possible, and we all are aware that gold is the most malleable element. Okay, the thin sheet of the gold is approximately 1000 atoms thick. Okay, so he choose gold foil for that purpose. Now on the gold foil, he make fall of alpha particle, a beam of alpha particle, and here the alpha particles are basically doubly charged helium ions basically, and alpha is basically equivalent to 2He4. Why beta? Because the mass of alpha is 4 times mass of proton and charge of alpha is twice of charge of proton. Okay, so alpha particles are basically equivalent to doubly charged helium ions also. Fine. So alpha particles are made incident on gold foil and the result was unbelievable, unimaginable. We can't imagine the result. Okay. As for Rutherford, okay, according to Rutherford, basically, he was thinking that obviously alpha particles are positive charged particles and entire atom is positive charged as proposed by Thomson. So Rutherford somehow just guessed that the alpha particle will bounce back. Okay, but what happened here? When he made fall of alpha rays, okay, alpha particles on this gold foil, most of the alpha particles pass straight through the atom without any deflection. कोई deflection हुआ ही नहीं बेटा जी. Okay, most of the alpha particles pass straight. Fine, most of the alpha particles pass straight through the atom. A very few alpha particles deviate from their path and diffracted by acute angles. And the third thing, he observed that 1 out of 12,000 atom, 1 out of 12,000 atom retrace its path, bounce back its path. Okay, that means it was deflected by 180 degree. Gaye and I, 180 degree beta. Okay, so here 3 observations of Rutherford model was: most of the alpha particle pass straight through the gold foil. A very few alpha particles deviate from their path and deviated by small angles, basically making acute angles. And 1 out of every 12,000 alpha particle rebound or retrace its original path. These were the observations of Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. On the behalf of these observations, Rutherford formed some conclusions, and the conclusions were that most of the, I'm just writing here conclusions, most of the alpha particles passed straight through the gold foil, through atoms of gold foil. Okay, it concludes that most of the space inside the atom is empty. Most of the space inside atom is empty. Okay, it was the first conclusion. It was the first conclusion made by Rutherford that most of the space inside the atom is empty. Why? Because most of the alpha particles passed through it straight without any deflection, without any deviation. Now, second point. Very few alpha particles deflected from their path or deviated from their path. Conclude that and make acute angles basically. Conclude that this statement conclude that basically that positive charge is present in very less space inside the atom. Okay. Third point. Third point. 1 out of every 12,000 alpha particle retrace its path. Simply means that the entire positive charge or entire mass of the atom is present inside the atom in very small space, in very small volume, and that is at the center. Okay. 1 out of every 12,000 alpha particle rebound, or we can say retrace its path, indicating the entire mass and positive charge, of the atom is present in very small space, ब्रैकेट में हम लिख देते हैं, at the center of the atom. Fine. So these were the three conclusions made by Rutherford. Okay. But on the behalf of observation, he concluded these points. Now, after giving the conclusion, he gave few features basically, and the features of atoms. Basically, we can say that the features of atom, that means atomic model of Rutherford. Basically, we can say that the features of Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. Initially, we were having observations, then conclusion, then the features, that is the result. Okay. So, beta, I'm just going to rub it. Please note it down. Okay. Yeah. So, beta G, what will we do here? What will we do here? Features of atomic model. Features, the very first point. Observation was most of the alpha particles pass straight through the gold atom. This conclude that most of the space present inside the atom is empty. Okay, this is like better. Yes, Peter. So features of Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment result, basically features or result, or we can say that the nuclear model proposed by nuclear model explained by Rutherford. Okay, so the very first thing is there is a positive charge sphere present inside the atom called nucleus. Okay, so as per Rutherford conclusion, after giving the conclusion, he gave the features, and the first feature was there is a positive charge sphere present inside the atom, and that is known to be nucleus, and nearly all the mass is present, all the mass of the atom, you can also write like this, all the mass is present in it. That means all the mass of the atom is present inside the nucleus. Okay. Second point, the electrons. Okay, electrons are not embedded here. Okay, the electrons revolve around the nucleus in well-defined orbits. Okay, the electrons are revolving in the around the nucleus in well-defined orbits. They are revolving. Basically, he is saying that electrons are revolving in circular orbits. Okay, as per Rutherford. And the third thing, the size. The size of the nucleus is very small. as compared to size of atom. So with respect to size of atom, the size of nucleus is very, very small. Okay, so these were the features of Rutherford nuclear model. Okay, and after giving the conclusion, Rutherford gave these features. Then Vitaji, in the comment section, you have to just mention the drawbacks of Rutherford atom model. Okay, Rutherford alpha particle scattering experiment. You have to just give the drawbacks of it. Okay, at least 2 points should be there. Okay, otherwise we will discuss these in next class. Okay, now for the sake of knowledge, I am just going to tell you that the size of the atom. Okay, it's not it need not be mentioned here, but I'm just going to give you some extra information that the size of the atom is angstrom. Why? That means the dimension here is the diameter of the atom is angstrom. Angstrom means 10 to the minus 10 meter. Okay, it is the size of the atom, and the size of the nucleus is 10 to the minus 15 meter. That means Fermi meter. Okay, this is for the extra knowledge. Angstrom means 10 to the minus 10 meter. So atomic size is 10 to the minus 10 meter, and nuclear size is 10 to the minus 15 meter. Okay, that means size of nucleus is 1 lakh times smaller than the size of the atom. Okay, in next video we will do further topics. Bye bye.